Hello, just Mark here today. All right. Let's start out with questions. Any burning question? Okay. Excellent question. So here are some resources. So let's take a look at them. I usually type in MLA 8 edition in text citation, and then you can add in Prezi. And I really like the first one by Paul Dowski. Okay. The Prezi is loading, but going through a Prezi like this makes it clearer. So you can find it and review this just easily by typing in those keywords. But let's look at the in-text citation. Skipping forward. Those previous slides show how to do the works cited. Okay, these slides talk about the first page. Here's the definition of in-text citation. It's a piece of information you take directly from a source and include in the text of your paper. It should include the first part of the MLA citation, page number if applicable. The first part of MLA citation is either the author, or if there's no author information given, then you begin with the first letter or the first the first word or the first two words of the title. Okay, so here's an example. You can introduce the quote by including the author's information here, first name, last name. So you always need to introduce the quote. He writes, works, right? This phrase here. He writes, she illustrates, she states. So those are the words, the common words to introduce a quote. So you place the quote after you introduce it. You place it. Okay, you place it. Any quote that is shorter than 4 lines, you don't have to block it. So this quote here, the case system we seek to remove may once again play a part in lives, blah blah blah, right? And it is shorter than 4 lines, so that it blends in with your writing. And then at the end of the quote, you place the page number. If there's no page number, then you leave it blank. Okay. If there's a page number, you put in the parentheses, and then you place the period after it. If there is no page number, you place the period inside the quotation mark. So cannot, period, quotation mark. Okay. So that's the this is when when you mention the author information already. Here's an example of if you did not mention the author information in your introduction of the, when you introduce the quote, then you would place it here. The author's last name, followed by the page number, surrounded by parentheses, followed by a period. Now this quote is a full sentence. Okay, so it's grammatically correct already. That's why it could follow. If you already mentioned, if the reader knows from contextual clues that you're talking about the same author, you don't have to repeat the author again and again and again. Okay, so many of you, when you write about the lesson, you kept saying Bambara, but I know for a fact that the quotes that you quoted come from the lesson, so there's no need to mention Bambara over and over and over again. You only mention the author's information once in a paragraph. Unless you're dealing with multiple authors, then you would include the last name accordingly to indicate. Yeah. So if there's no page number, you would just use the author's last name. This is how you would do the block quote. Any quote that is longer than 4 lines, first of all, they should be avoided. You should not use block quotes in a short essay that is roughly about 4 or more pages long. You should not use block quotes because they're going to take up space. But if you need to use a block quote, this is how you would do it. Okay. Is there another question regarding in-text citation? Here's another one for when you're citing a poem or a play. So poems have lines, and they're separated by a dash. Okay. If you are quoting 3 lines or shorter, you need to put them like this. Okay, using dashes. If you're quoting a stanza, then you need to block it. You need to format it using block style. Okay, so unfortunately, this Prezi does not talk about that. But so let's see if we could find a Prezi that does. Okay, it's loading, taking forever. Here it is. Let's see if this. Just the formatting. Wow, that's a lot of information that's compacted. Just talking about works cited page. Okay, that's not very helpful. So I'll do MLA 8th edition in-text citation. 8th edition. So let's see if we can learn from our trusted Purdue University. We need the in-text citation. So this page gives you a lot of choices for doing in-text citation using various types, different types of sources. Okay, so quotations. This one talks about long quotations. This one talks about citing long sections of a poem that is longer than 3 lines. So then you have to block it like this. This, if you are writing about my papa's waltz and you're quoting a stanza or anything that's longer than 3 lines, then you need to do like this. Okay. I don't recommend that you use long quotes like this for the same reason that I've stated before. It takes up space, and I really don't care for reading the poem again because I read the poem many times, so I know. So I'm more interested in reading your thinking. So if you can paraphrase, if you can summarize, if you can analyze, and then just use a few words or even one word, a key word, or even one line to, in your analysis to show what you're thinking or how you're thinking about something, then that would be more beneficial and more effective in terms of quality of your essay. Okay. So do you have another question regarding MLA style citation or works cited page? More questions on in-text citation? Yeah, you do need to put the line number. You need to put the line number. Let me see here, like this. Okay. And you count it from line 1. So Theodore Gursky, this is line 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is stanza 1, stanza 2, stanza 3, stanza 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this poem has 16 lines. So if you're quoting maybe this word from this line, then you say line 3, or you put the number here. Okay, 3. And then, so open parenthesis, the number 3, and then close parenthesis. Okay. So let's see if we could find a clearer example of MLA 8th edition in-text citation for a poem. Okay. So this lip guide at Columbia College might be beneficial. Nope. But yeah, you do the line number instead of the page number for poems. Okay. Let me know if you have more questions. I'm gonna talk about week 9 now. You have 2 chapters to read, 17 and 18 on imagery and figures of speech. Previously, when you read the chapter on reading and writing about poem or poetry, you should have looked at how they quote poetry lines, and those chapters should have told you how to. I should have informed you how to write about poems. So if in doubt, go back to your textbook and review those chapters on reading and writing about poetry. Okay, but here you have 2 new chapters to digest this week. There are 2 quizzes that are due this Friday on them. You have a PDF for imagery, and you got descriptive word list, a list of descriptive words. You got the sensory details, the academic version of each of our senses. This is a picture of Emily Dickinson. We're looking at her poem A Route of Evanescence. We're looking at this poem, Birthday Cake. This poem, Cosmos in Bloom. What even in the croaking of frogs. And then we're learning about haiku. Then the discussion questions. Okay. So keep that PDF in mind as we go to the discussions forum. The poetry essay task description, if you have not looked at it, you should now, this week, study it and choose which one you're going to pre-write and outline, which option that is. Okay. So here it is. The task descriptions right here. Okay. So the quizzes are now given to you for 2 chances allowed, but you have 30 minutes each. But there are only 10 questions, okay, for each of these quizzes. Here's the discussions forum. The poems, the links are here, and I've checked them that they work. Spent a lot of time finding the poems online for you, so to include a link for your convenience. So you gotta look at them by clicking on them on each of these links, and then answer the questions that follow. For example, A Route for Evanescence suggest, what does it suggest? Okay, what does this poem suggest? How does it address nature? Okay, you probably won't find any resources that discuss this poem. So you're gonna need to rely on your own poetry reading skills. Oh, by the way, I've added an optional reading to week 9 discussion, week 9 required readings, which is 20 strategies on reading a poem. Okay, I find that this is useful. This article is very useful. It discusses 20 ways where you can read, 20 strategies to approach and read the poem yourself, instead of relying on Spark Notes or study.com or Smoop to tell you what the poems mean. And that will strip away the pleasure of reading poems. Okay. Anyway, so answer these questions yourself, and if you see that one of your classmates isn't responding to the questions correctly, you may point it out to them. Okay? You have the option to correct them if you like. Dickinson's poem suggests the hummingbird, which is why there's a hummingbird picture here for this poem. But how does the poem address nature? So that's a question for you to think about. And then there are other poems here with their accompanying questions. And these questions came from the publisher of our textbook, Kennedy and Goya. I think it's pronounced Goya, the authors. And here's the next task on the love song of J. Alfred. Prufrock, which is a narrative poem. It tells the story of this main character named J. Alfred Prufrock. Really worthwhile to read, and there's a prompt attached to it that you can respond to. There's a student paper on this poem. It will show you how this student analyzed the poem on and get to the theme and the meaning, the layers of meaning within that poem. And here's the student exemplar for the poetry essay, but it is on a poem that we're not looking at. So we are not working on the fish, but then this exemplar discusses or examines, analyzes, and interprets the poem for us in this essay. Okay, so we're looking at this exemplar to learn ways in which we can write our poetry essay. We're writing our haiku and post our haiku here, and nobody has done that, so can't give anybody any feedback on that yet. And then pop culture, applying your knowledge of imagery and figures of speech. So these are all the tasks for this week. Discussions forum. Then we have the pre-write and outline for the poetry essay due this Sunday. And then the week's URL midterm check is due also on Sunday. Okay, the weeks, you should only have your fiction essay and your midterm exam number 1. If you got a passing score, it's ready to go. You can post it. And you may choose to post any of your discussions that you deem worthy of publication on the web. Okay. So that's weeks. Any question on the poetry essay in terms of pre-writing and outlining for it? Use the template provided. Okay, use it. You may handwrite it and take pictures and upload, or you can do it electronically. But I would like to see you try to do the pie structure for your poetry essay here. Okay. That will be it for week 9. What question do you have? Have you selected the task? You don't have to post the discussions, it's up to you, but the essays are required. So 2 of those essays, 2 of our essays need to be up on Wix. Okay. Fiction essay and midterm. So by the end of the semester, we need to put all of our major writings on it, on Wix. So that would be the fiction essay, the poetry essay, drama critic, the research paper, and all of your midterms, 3 of your midterms, up on Wix. Yeah, you can send it to me now, and let me see. You can post the link on the, directly onto the chat field. I should be able to click on it and open it up. Open it up. Oh, goodness. Stuttering problem. Okay, sure. Take your time. Excuse me. Oh, oops, it's been here. So clicked on it and it's loading for me. You may also want to put your responses here as well, like you've been doing. So it's okay, it's good. If you're proud of those, you should. But where is your fiction essay? Have you posted it? Or your midterm essay? So I would put those on your homepage, and then your responses can go up here, or okay. So make it apparent, apparent and visible for me by placing them on your homepage. This is it, right? So and then your fiction essay is right here. So I would suggest that you would link, since you have already posted these here, there's a way for you to link, put some sort of link here, put some sort of information. This white space, I'm not sure why it's here, but is there a way for you to get rid of this white space? And maybe use this white space to host the links to those important essays. So the important essays should be on your homepage. And this seems like this is your homepage, because this is where I got to after clicking on the link, and it says home. Okay. So either include the links to your important writings here on the homepage, or actually post the whole essay here as well. Just post it, just display it here instead of having them up here. Does that make sense? I don't know if which one you want to do, but see, I wasn't able to find it until I click on each one of them, and that's not well, right now it doesn't matter because I just look for completion this time. But when I check it again at the end of the semester, I look for design and accessibility and course completion, and also user friendliness. Okay, so those criteria of grading come into play when I look at it again. But here, you've satisfied the requirements by posting them already, so you have time to fix them, is what I'm saying. But eventually, you need to design it so that there's no white space here. And if indeed you want to use this white space, you probably need to do something with it, get rid of it or something. Okay, but for now, you probably will get. Don't forget to submit it to the assignment thread, though, right? So that I can grade it. But your Wix is ready to go. Okay, so I wouldn't have any problem giving you full credit for that assignment since you since you went above and beyond and posted more than what I've asked. So that's good. Is there another question that I could help you out at this point? Okay, well, keep up the good work and let me know if you have any more issue with Wix or with your in-text citation. And I'm glad you reached out and asked me about it. Otherwise, if you just assumed and you still continue doing incorrect job with the MLA thing, that's not good. So good luck on your poetry. Yeah, so now you can go back to the prezzies and view more prezzies if you want to. You got tons of resources online. So it's a matter of finding which one to use and how to use it. All right, I'm gonna end the meeting now and I'll see you next time. Have a good week.